Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
North Carolina Central University Chancellor Dr. Charlie Nelms stopped by our studios recently to talk about projects going on at the school and how NC Central, the fastest growing campus in the University of North Carolina system, is faring in this difficult economy. Chancellor Charlie Nelms, welcome back to North Carolina Now.
It's great to be here.
North Carolina Central has been doing a bit of celebrating in 2010, the centennial celebration, and also in 2010, U.S. News and World Report ranked Central for the second time as the top historically black college, public college in the nation. Does this change anything as far as the way you address the situations at Central?
Not really. We appreciate the recognition, and but we don't define what we need to do based on the rating. We define it based on the success of our students and building on that legacy established by Dr. James E. Shepard and the people who succeeded him. Because at the end of the day, it's not about rankings. It's about making sure that students achieve their aspirations and that we become a better institution going forward. So we appreciate it, but we don't let that dictate how we're going to be responding.
North Carolina Central is also ranked high among the universities within the University of North Carolina when it comes to student enrollment.
Sure.
When you look at the economic situation that's taking place right now, how are you able to handle the influx of students?
Well, you know, one of the things that we did about 3 years ago, we decided to grow in a different kind of way. We said we want to grow qualitatively and we want to be strategic in that growth. So we actually slowed down the pace of growth, and we concentrated then on trying to recruit and retain better prepared students, more community college transfers, distance learning, as well as graduate education. So we sort of shifted our growth plan to be more focused on quality and a strategic kind of nature than the kind of growth that we had incurred in the years prior to that. Now, as for the budget, you better believe it will have a most definitive impact on our ability to serve as many students as we are serving currently. But it's just not the budget cuts here in North Carolina. It's cuts at the federal level with the Pell Grant, with Title III. So it's the cumulative effect of all of that 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 I'm really worried about.
And you speaking about the Pell Grant, just what type of impact would that have on students at Central?
Give you an example. The median income at North Carolina Central University for a family of 4 would be about $30,000. 4,400 of our students receive the Pell Grant. Another 700 students receive a supplemental grant. So you're talking about more than 5,000 students then, nearly 5,000 students who would be impacted. And so if you have an income level that low, okay, even with the 15% cut that's proposed by the federal government in the federal budget, then that will have a definite impact, a profound impact on access for people who need it most.
You have implemented the Quality Service Initiative at Central. Why was it so important to initiate this program, and what do you hope to accomplish by it?
Oh, well, you know, I can tell you that of the things that we focused on in the last 3.5, almost 4 years now, I can't think of anything more important. Because, you know, after all, education is about relationships. And if you're going to have people viewing you as an institution of choice, everything that you do, from the appearance of the campus, the way you greet people when they come on campus, the way you answer the telephone, your promptness in providing quality service when you have a visitor in an office, all of those things are just so important. That's why we initiated that, okay? Because we wanted to be able to distinguish between North Carolina Central University and some of the other universities. We can be good at service. We're improving that, and I'm just so delighted that my colleagues have responded with the kind of spirit that only eagles can respond with.
And another program that you've developed at the university, you formed a commission to enhance the intellectual climate at North Carolina Central. What is the purpose of this commission?
You know, the purpose of the commission is very simple, but very important. And that is, we want to educate the whole person, the whole person. It's important for a person, yes, to understand the major that they have, but, you know, being an educated person is about more than just understanding one's narrow discipline. People need to be able to discuss, our students should be able to discuss big ticket items all the way from global warming to immigration to the preservation of African American history and culture as one example. We just had Khalil Muhammad, who is the new executive director of the Schomburg in New York, part of the public library system there. He spent 2 days on campus just engaged in conversation with students. We're trying to get people to think, reflect, and act at a whole different level.
Now, of course, there's a lot of construction going on at Central. Talk about that.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's not construction in and of itself, by itself, but it's construction toward a particular purpose. And that purpose then is to be able to house more students on campus, because we know that there's a direct positive correlation between people who live in campus residences and retention and graduation. So at the end result, we're really trying to raise the retention and progression rate and ultimately the graduation rate. So this fall, 2011, we will have a new residence hall on that corner that will accommodate 540 people. And then you go a little further south along Austin Avenue, and we have this wonderful, wonderful nursing building coming up, and it will be ready for occupancy in June 2011. And so that will enable us to basically quadruple the amount of space that we have for our nursing program. And that's all good. That's all good for the citizens of North Carolina.
And despite some of the challenges that all universities are facing, I know you can't look into the crystal ball, but how do you see the future unfolding for North Carolina Central? You know,
I see all positive. Challenges, yes. And I use the analogy of a meteorologist. Yeah, there are clouds overhead, okay, and there's a cold front coming and so on and so forth. But if you look beyond the 10-day forecast, if you look beyond the next 1 or 2 year forecast, I see a very positive future for North Carolina Central. Why do I say that? First of all, we're attracting and retaining the kinds of students who can benefit from the education we provide. Secondly, we're attracting faculty members who are excited as I am about serving those individuals. And then thirdly, we have a strong foundation, and it's going to take a lot to shake that foundation. So I'm optimistic. Despite the budget woes and predictions and all of that, I continue to be optimistic about the future of this great place.
Dr. Charlie Nelms, Chancellor of North Carolina Central University, thank you as always for stopping by, and continued success to you, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.